Today, we're diving into temple hypnotherapy and a really modern brain-based approach to mental well-being that offers some powerful new tools for managing things like anxiety, phobias, and trauma. It was all founded by Elizabeth Davenport, who is a qualified clinical, solution-focused hypnotherapist based out of York. What Elizabeth does is create this calm, supportive space where people can really build their confidence and dial down their anxiety. She trained at the Solution-Focused Hypnotherapy Academy, and her whole approach is this amazing blend of gentle hypnosis with forward-looking, solution-focused therapy. It's all about making real positive changes for all sorts of challenges, from low self-esteem to sleep problems and even performance issues. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with Elizabeth's deep foundation of compassion, and then we'll follow her personal journey from having a phobia to finding her calling. We're going to bust some myths about what hypnotherapy actually is, see how it puts you back in control, explore the new tools it offers for well-being, and finally, look at how you can connect for support.
First things first, let's look at the deep roots Elizabeth has in the community she serves. This isn't some new venture into support work for her, it's really an evolution of a lifetime of work.
Elizabeth's work is just built on this incredible foundation of empathy. Her whole journey began over 15 years ago as a families officer for rare disease charities. And this wasn't just a 9-to-5 job, it was about supporting families from the moment of diagnosis, sometimes all the way through to end-of-life care. And it's this deep, long-term experience of being with people through their most difficult times that makes her new therapeutic approach so powerful today.
So what would prompt someone with such a deep background in traditional support work to train in a completely new therapeutic field? Well, for Elizabeth, it actually started with a personal transformation. Just imagine this for a second. What if the very thing that terrified you the most, the thing that would have you scanning every corner of a room, could actually become the spark for a whole new purpose in your life? This quote really just captures Elizabeth's journey perfectly. She had a severe spider phobia, the kind that keeps you constantly on edge. But after experiencing hypnotherapy for herself, that deep-seated fear was, it was simply gone. And in that moment, she realized the immense power this tool could have for the very people she'd spent her entire career supporting.
Now, when we hear the word hypnotherapy, let's be honest, a lot of myths and misconceptions can pop into our heads. So what actually is solution-focused hypnotherapy? This is where you see the huge difference in approach. While some traditional therapies might involve reliving trauma over and over again, which can be incredibly draining, solution-focused hypnotherapy works differently. It acknowledges the past, sure, but then it immediately shifts the focus to the future. So instead of asking, why do you have this problem, it asks, where do you want to be? The whole goal is to build the how, to give you practical, brain-based tools to get there.
And a key part of this is something called a trance. But listen, it's not what you've seen in the movies. It's a completely natural state we all go into every single day. Have you ever been driving a familiar route and you suddenly realize you don't remember the last few miles? Well, that's it. That's a trance. It's just a state of focused attention, where the mind is relaxed and way more open to positive suggestions, which helps to calm the subconscious and build new, positive pathways.
And understanding how the mind works is so crucial because that's what ultimately puts us back in the driver's seat. So let's take a look at how that actually works.
Elizabeth uses this fantastic analogy for this. She calls the emotional part of our brain, the part that triggers fear and anxiety, our little meerkats. They're always on high alert, always looking for trouble. And that's great if you're running from a zombie, but it's not so helpful when you just need to get a blood test. Therapy helps you shift out of that emotional meerkat brain and into your intellectual brain, where you can think calmly and logically.
So, the crucial point here is empowerment. This approach is all about understanding why your brain is reacting the way it is, and then giving you the tools to manage that reaction. It's not about promising to fix everything, but about giving you back a sense of control.
And that brings us to the practical side of things. How can these tools be used to help with the very real challenges people in the rare disease community face day in and day out?
Well, the applications are incredibly relevant. Imagine being able to manage a needle phobia that's been a huge barrier to essential care. Or what about coping with appointment anxiety so well that you can actually hear and process what the consultant is telling you? This therapy is used to improve sleep, build confidence, gently process grief, and even raise aspirations for the future.
And the impact can be just profound and immediate. Elizabeth shared this story of a client who was working through trauma. After a session where she was able to reframe her experience, she woke up from the trance and just said, "That's one of the best things I've ever done." It just goes to show how this gentle process can lead to a really powerful release, all without re-traumatizing someone. So let's wrap things up by looking at how people can actually access these tools and connect with Elizabeth's services.
One of the huge benefits here is just how flexible it is. Elizabeth offers one-to-one sessions both online and in person, and the online sessions are especially effective since you can be in the comfort of your own home. She also creates custom group workshops, offers a really relaxing walking hypnotherapy, and provides support for charities through conferences and staff training.
And that leaves us with a final thought. We've just explored a modern, brain-based approach that really demystifies hypnotherapy and offers practical tools for well-being. So the question to reflect on is this: how could understanding and guiding your own mind help you, or maybe those you support, create positive and lasting change?